In case you missed it, apparently James Cameron got slammed for animal abuse at the Japan premiere of his new film Avatar, and the fans seemed pretty pissed. For those who don't know, the premiere had dolphins doing all kinds of tricks in the pool. As you probably know, the event in Tokyo was highly anticipated by everyone. James Cameron, Zoe Saldana, and Sam Worthington were found in attendance, but their presence apparently did not steal the show. It was the dolphins in the background, as they leapt up in the air and mesmerized everyone at the premiere. But the problem started when the video of the promotional show at Maxell Aqua Park Shinagawa was sent to multiple countries from Japan. Fans of the dolphins had different levels of heartbreak and anger about what happened. Some even said they'd boycott the movie completely. Now, I'm not to blame, but James Cameron should have seen this coming.
The success is definitely exceeding our expectations and our minimum threshold for it all having been a gamble or an investment that was worth our time.
Instead, Cameron literally joked in a video of the event, saying that he's sure everyone asked their permission to be in the show. Now that's a damaging move, but guess what happened next? Activists started calling him out. Bailey Mason, who's an activist and an author, mentioned how he would love it if James Cameron promised to never go to another dolphin show and speak against the cruel manner in which dolphins are caught and killed in Japan. Animal rights activists also said that at first they thought the mammals were made digitally, considering Cameron's being a vegan and all.
Pose for the big screen, you compose in scope composition and so on, you move the camera, you create a lot of detail, still plays on video. It just doesn't work the other way around.
Well, at least that's what he says, and even makes movies with strong messages about the environment. So much for being an environmentalist, I guess. It wasn't just Bailey who seemed disappointed. Lisa Lange from Ethical Treatment of Animals also thought that the dolphins were animated, or some kind of CGI. But the more she watched, the more she realized they were real. She said she was shocked to see Cameron do such a thing, and then sitting there and applauding as if they're clowns at the circus. I mean, they were literally riding to places on dolphins' noses in the movie, which is about as bad as it can get. And what happens in the dolphin hunting industry in Japan? It's as cruel as it gets. Rick O'Barry, who was in the Oscar-winning documentary, The Cove.
Hi, I'm Rick O'Barry from the new movie, The Cove. More than 23,000 dolphins and porpoises are slaughtered each year in remote villages of Japan.
Showed how terrible the dolphin hunting industry is in Japan in his film. He said that the promotional performance is, and I quote, crazy, and before he quit and spoke out against dolphins in captivity. O'Barry trained dolphins for the 1960s show Flipper, so basically he's speaking from experience. The US program director also talked about the habitat of dolphins, saying that dolphins in captivity live in an artificial environment, and that's 200 million times smaller than their natural home. They also go through a lot of pain and stress, and on average, they live a lot shorter lives than animals in the wild. Plus, the World Animal Protection Group said that Cameron's stunt was strangely out of character, but it seems like he's done his own version of damage control and has broken his silence about it through an email. He emailed Mr. Scary and Louis Ciojos, who are the directors of The Cove, and explained his side of the story. I know what you're thinking. How did I get to see the email? Well, both of them put parts of the email on Facebook for everyone to see. Now, I can't tell if this was an excuse, but in that email, Cameron went into details related to Avatar's publicity tour, where he was so busy that he was whisked from one appearance to the next for a week straight.
It's like we're saying, as a society, we need this. We need to go to movie theaters, and have that experience. Enough with the streaming already,
According to him, he was literally doing 20 to 30 interviews a day. Now, I get that Avatar 2 is huge, but those numbers feel like a bit of an exaggeration. Cameron also wrote how he was given a list of his stops for the day, and the first one was literally a fan event at an aquarium. He thought, hey, this could be Monterey Bay Aquarium, and in case you don't know about that place, it has great science and environmental programs. But he was not told about any dolphin show, and he found out about it right as he was leaving the stage. Like they were already on the field and the crowd was cheering. Anyway, Cameron proceeded to say that mean-spirited statement I told you about before, the one about dolphins' consent, and according to him, he didn't want to make a big fuss about it in public. But now he thinks he should have said something right then and there. And honestly, I think that would have affected Avatar's promotion negatively.
So what does her heartbeat sound like?
But it doesn't end there. There was another part of the email that Mr. Sahoyos received later, in which Mr. Director of Avatar blamed Disney for the situation. Cameron tells that when you see the film, you'll see that it's all about saving whales and treating them with compassion. So when that's the main point of the movie, there's no way he would have stood up in front of a show about dolphins in captivity. And those are his words. But you know what else he did? He told people to rethink how much seafood they eat, because about 6,500,000 dolphins and whales are killed or hurt every year by huge fishing fleets. So if people really wish to save these dolphins, Cameron wants people to stop eating that tuna melt. His words, not mine. He wanted everyone to know that this was a mistake. And I mean, he did say sorry, so I guess he probably had not seen it coming. And that's what Louis thought too. He told Yahoo that people who don't like the filmmaker should try to get into his place. And imagine how hard it would be to promote a movie with a message against whaling in Japan, where whales are still hunted for their meat. And since The Cove was shown at the Tokyo Film Festival, the director said that he understands it can be difficult to get your message across in a place where people are not necessarily friendly to it. And that's true. People usually say that if they were in that situation, they'd have done a certain thing. But when you're in an awkward situation like that, things are very different in the heat of the moment, and you say stuff maybe you don't mean. Anyway, Sahoyos also said that Cameron is working really hard to bring about social change and environmental awareness.
It was turning his head, and it still held my eye. And I thought, this son of a bitch is alive, and I'm part of this. So I stopped eating meat shortly after that.
And he asked everyone to forgive him and respect it. He thinks that the criticism of Cameron by people who want to protect marine mammals, that probably hurts more than anything. But apparently this email was not enough. PETA now wants Cameron to issue a public statement. Now when the news broke out, Lisa Lange, the senior vice president of PETA, was shocked when David Cameron went to see the dolphin show. But now she's hopeful about the situation. Her starting thoughts were basically that Cameron was caught off guard.
You buy it on its own terms, but I've spent thousands of hours underwater. I'm very literal about my underwater. It needs to look like it's real.
And it would have surprised her if he had gone despite knowing about the show. But now knowing that James Cameron will go one step further against the captive dolphin industry.
Culture and human civilization kind of at war with itself, pulling us away from our connection to nature and all those things. But there's another layer, there's a tertiary layer.
And support sending healthy dolphins from zoos to seaside sanctuaries. Who knows? Maybe one day he'll donate for some. The thing is, it's not just us assuming things. He actually has the means and desire to help those animals. But Cameron has yet to respond to PETA's request, and hopefully he will. Anyway, that's all for James Cameron's situation regarding dolphin captivity. Do you think James Cameron will respond positively to PETA's statement? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.